Today, I'm off to see Harinder Paul, a man of many talents, describing himself as an enlightened entrepreneur. He's the director of the Visioncare group. He's also an optician, and he's also the founder of the charity Visioncare for the homeless. He's going to talk to us about what motivates him, also about an exciting new project known as World Transformation Day. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of SaviLeaders. I've got with me today Harinder Paul, an incredible person who I think it was a wonderful expression he used, an enlightened entrepreneur, and he'll tell us all about all the great work he does. Welcome to the show. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm very well, Sammy. Thank you for having me.
We're driving all around London to try and get to the right place and then find a place where we can meet you and talk to you about all the great things that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you for making the effort to come and meet me.
So tell us a little bit about your background. How did you? I know you with the thing that we mentioned was a bit of a laugh about all the job roles and things, but you do that a few days a week, don't you?
Yeah, I'm an optometrist by profession. I've been an optometrist, or people sometimes understand the word optician better, for about 22 years, and that's what I do as a profession. But my main role is I'm the investor relations director for a company called the Visioncare Group. And we basically trade property, we buy and sell property and develop property.
Really good.
We use and give opportunity for investors to invest with us with a very high return. So my role is bringing investors on board so we can do more projects.
So you just didn't have enough balls to whiz around in the air, you thought, I'd do another projects as well on the side,
My wife always complains about that in terms of time management and what have you, and just splitting all the times. I've been in personal development for many years, and I've just learned to become really effective because...
You never suffer from procrastination, do you? Like, I'm sitting here, I can't really be bothered to do that, there's too much on my plate. Do you ever suffer that?
I don't know what that is anymore.
Okay, good. But
it's funny you say that, and that's why I'm smiling, is before I got into personal development, I was the number one procrastinator on the planet, always putting things off, not taking action. So one of the things that has me be effective in terms of time management is not be in my head. A lot of the things that have people slow down and not take action is just a noise in their head. When should I start? And because I've learned to quieten that noise and just take the action, even when I'm scared to take the action, because some of the stuff I do is confronting, making phone calls or doing even public speaking, I just feel the fear and do it anyway. And I've done that so often now that it's become a habit.
But you have like a big list of things that you need to do, and then you write it down in a notebook and you cross them all off as you're doing them? Or,
yeah, I used to use a paper diary up until 2 years ago. People used to laugh at me, but now I've got my diary on my phone, and I have I schedule times for things that I do. At the moment, I'm working 2 to 3 days a week as an optometrist. That's only just started again recently, and then 2 days a week with the property company. So I manage my time, and because I'm so good at being my word, which is doing what I said I'm going to do. If a 2 o'clock slot comes and I've got to work on that task until 3, I make sure I don't have any interruptions. Even if people call me, I don't answer the phone call. I'll get back to them. I have slots in the day.
So you're real focus.
Yeah, I'm very focused. I'm very disciplined. I think one of the things that have people maybe procrastinate is because they say they want to do something, and they go by their feelings, and feelings won't get you very far. It's like going to the gym. I don't feel like going. So you go because you said you would. And initially I had someone that used to hold me to account like a coach, because left to your own devices, we're quite sneaky.
So it's a bit like personal training in terms of in the gym as well, isn't it? Like,
effectively,
if you've got a personal trainer that can actually give you a tool or a technique to use or keep you focused.
Yes.
And then later on they'll come and measure to make sure you're okay and you're heading in the right direction.
Yes, exactly that. People say to me, why do I need to go on a personal development course? Why should I have a coach? And the analogy I use is, if you look at any top athletes in the world, or people that are good at what they're good at, most of them have a coach or a mentor, and the coach will have them see things that they won't see themselves. I use the analogy, a fish doesn't know it's swimming in water. It takes someone outside. So Sally, you'll see things in me that I'll never see because I'm in my own little bubble.
Because also that you might be too close to the issue as well. And I met somebody recently who's CEO of a big recommendation engine. And I said, well, what about your strategy and stuff? He said, well, I've got a strategy, but I've got a coach who actually makes sure that I'm actually on track with some of the things I want to do, which I thought was actually really interesting because it's not about lack of confidence, it's actually more about, and it's not about qualifying, it's exactly what you said. Sometimes you can be so close to the problem, you can't see what the other person can see. You know?
That is so true, and in terms of coaches that I use, for example, the project that we're going to talk about, I've been putting off doing that project for 12 years, Savi, because it is so big.
But in the meantime, the fantastic project that you have done, which I really want to talk to you about as a second thing I was going to talk to you about today, was the vision for the homeless, right?
Yes.
What an incredible idea that is. I'm not just saying that to make you feel good. I just think it's a real, well, the question is, what drove you to do that? Did you like to drive past and go, you know what, I think these people might need more healthcare? Because there is obviously, in the UK, we've got the National Health Service, and it's sometimes difficult to get an appointment. And, you know, it's just like a really, you know, awkward thing sometimes as well, because if somebody's homeless, you know, they haven't got a base. So where do they start from? And what do they put? They're going to put their health on, not the main priority, are they? Because they're just trying to survive every day. How did you come up with that idea? And what's the passion for that?
The idea came up initially in 2002, and I went travelling around the world. I went backpacking around the world, and I clearly remember the moment that it happened. And I went to a very poor township in South Africa just to have a look. And I got off the minibus, and the first thing that I noticed was that not one person that I could see around me was wearing glasses. And that's when I decided, I thought, Harinder, stop being so selfish.
Was this after you qualified though, is that?
This was after I qualified, so I've been an optometrist for about 21, 22 years, so this was, about 15 years ago. And I got off the minibus and I thought to myself, Harinder, stop being so selfish and just be not just be motivated by money. And do something to give back. And I decided in that moment that once a week, when I get back to the UK, I'm going to start going into homeless centres with it's called a domiciliary kit, which is a mobile optician's kit, and doing eye tests. And I made that decision, and first my ego was saying, okay, you're going to lose this much money, but then I put that to the side. And as I came back to the UK, I started doing research and looking at what organisations actually exist that provide this service. And I noticed there was a niche in the market. There wasn't any organisation that was providing free eye care for homeless people. So then I created a team, and that's where it was born. We launched in 2003. And now we've been running for 15 years.
So it's quite amazing. Literally a year after, you know, you did your backpacking, and then straight away when you came back, you started focusing on that. So I mean, you know, 1 year is really amazing to go from seeing an issue to help. And obviously, it doesn't take, you know, you got a big bang on that day, but you've obviously built up on it. In 2003, you had people that you were helping.
You know, it wasn't a year. I mean, one of the things I've learned to do is not procrastinate, as we were talking about earlier. Is when I have an idea, I'm like a machine. If I have an idea, I just put it into reality, because I know the longer that I leave it, the less chance it's going to happen. So when I go on a personal development course, and I'll be going on courses till the day I die, because I always love stretching and growing and being better today than I was yesterday, I've got a habit now. When I go on a course, I make sure I take the most action in the first 24 hours after that course. And it might be a little action, and you start planting that seed, and that seed grows into a little flower, then a beautiful rose bush. And it's about taking action. So coming back to what you said earlier, I didn't wait a year before I started that project. I went travelling, I came back to, I think, London about November, and literally within a few weeks, I created a team. It took 8 or 9 months for us to get the preparation, the planning, get the sponsors on board, get the funding on board, get companies on board, and then we launched the actual project in September 2003, and we partnered up with a charity called Crisis, which is a big homelessness charity. And so we've got optician consulting rooms. Have you ever had a night of? You must have had a night test. I saw you wearing glasses there.
Yeah, I do my reading glasses.
Yeah, so you know the room that you sit in to have an eye test, that's called a consulting room. So we've got permanent consulting rooms inside homeless centres around the UK. Wow. So they're not on the high street. And we have volunteer optometrists, and we pay some optometrists to come in and provide the glasses, provide the eye test, and then we've got Specsavers, probably the biggest giant optometry practice in the world. They fund all our frames. So that's how it started. Now we've got 9 centres, and we're growing all the time around the country. Yeah, so we've got 9 centres around the UK, and we're growing every year. And one of the things we found with homeless people is that only a certain percentage that are on benefits are entitled, and that's probably only about 20%, sadly, are entitled to go into a normal high street practice and get a free eye test. there's about 60, 70, 75% that aren't on any benefits because they're on the streets, or they're called living in friends' houses, or they're sofa surfing, as they call it. They don't get any benefits, so we actually fund the whole lot.
So they don't get benefit because they don't have a place of residence? Is that the reason why?
That's the main reason.
If you don't have a place of residence, you can't claim for actually having the ITS?
Yes, you need a fixed abode. That's the first thing, and also you need to have a certain period of time that you are at this residence as well, and not everyone is going to qualify for benefits. So we provide eye tests for all homeless people, and also once we did our research, we found that even the people that were on benefits, they felt embarrassed to go into a normal high street practice because maybe it's too modern for them. And what we thought was, wouldn't it be great to actually have an optician service right on their doorstep? They're already going into homeless centres. Some homeless centres provide shower facilities, some provide food facilities.
Is it like a pop-up type thing, is it? Or is it something that you
no,
can leave there?
These are permanent rooms. So
really
these are permanent rooms that we've got. We have got a new initiative that's starting where we're going to be providing a mobile service. We're also going to start a new initiative which is going to be an iBus, where we're going to actually take the bus out to the homeless people as well. So we're putting all these initiatives in place. The other initiative that we're starting is to encourage high street opticians to maybe give up one day a month to actually invite homeless people to their practice and provide services for them. So we've got many initiatives going on to target as many homeless people as we can.
That's really good. And do you think that you're going to do this in other locations around the world, or is it something at the moment you're doing in the UK?
That was my initial vision when I first started the charity.
Because you said that you were in South Africa and you saw this.
Yeah, so my initial vision was to, pardon the pun vision,
yeah.
My initial vision was to take this around the world, but as the charity grew, we realised there was other organisations like Vision Aid Overseas, SaviLeaders, there's other charities that already exist that provide this service worldwide. So the initial plan is just to take it throughout the UK.
Okay, that's really good. So, having done one charity, and it's still ongoing, and I think the website is called, what's it called?
It's called Visioncare for Homeless People.
Brilliant.
Or vchp.org.uk.
Brilliant. So recommend people go and have a look at that.
Thank you.
That'd be really good, and also give support if they can, right, to it, and learn all about the great work. And it's a really shining example, right? Shining, enlightened entrepreneur. So the next enlightening project, or lightning project, I should say, about to hit the spark. I think you're trying to spark it off and make it happen.
Yeah.
And you've got some interesting plans for that. So now that you're doing your property stuff, you're doing your main work, which is a person that's helping people day to day, and then you've got this homeless project. You've got a fourth dimension, as if you weren't busy already with your family life, right?
Yeah.
To do this thing called World Transformation Day,
Yes.
right? But let's take a little bit of a back, step from that. You've done a number, as you mentioned before, personal development courses and things that have changed the way that you look at life and you approach, like procrastination or no longer. I'm sure there was an influence.
What does that word mean?
Well, that's good. Can't spell it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, you're not doing that anymore, and that's as a result of doing the personal development courses. You're able to say, "Here's a way for me to do this a different way." That's my first question. The second question is, your next project is not only to take the learnings that you've had, but to take the learnings out into the wider world, to give other people an opportunity to develop themselves and pursue their goals. And I know we spoke briefly recently about the fact that your ultimate aim is maybe to link up with universities or colleges or further education to study, which are basically linked back to the actual project that will start in a slum, say, right? So they've got effectively a way of moving out of that really awful situation, and they can see that there is some light, that they can move towards and follow, and actually, have a better life in the future. Is that essentially the project that you're now going to develop, and what does it look like? How are you doing that?
The project, can I share with you how it started, and that will actually answer your question.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it's funny. I was thinking about the word procrastination. What I'm going to say next is going to make you laugh. This project that I've started, I have actually been putting it off for 12 years, even though I've been in action with various other things. And so I suppose I have been procrastinating. So
sometimes maybe it's not procrastination. It's just that things fall in the right time. You get enough experience with yourself.
Yes.
You get a realization that you've got the tools now to be able to do it, and the contacts, and also in a way the homeless project that you did. So you haven't really procrastinated.
No,
that's
all
great experience
for
the next generation.
I feel better now. Thank you.
But it's all great experience to put you into
right.
the next mode. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I totally believe that. I don't believe in coincidences. I call it synchronicity. You know, when we first spoke on the phone, I said, look, we were meant to be speaking. So I believe that everything happens at the right time. So thank you for reiterating that. So this project I've been delaying and been busy doing other things for over 12 years. And the reason being, Savi, is it's such a big project that it's been so scary for me to start it. And they say that when you do something, create a why about what you're going to do. It's the why that gets you through. It's the reasons that get you through the seasons. And create a why that makes you cry. That's how passionate you've got to be about your project. And I've been so scared to start this project because it's just so big. And my dream, which I've now started, is to go to poor countries around the world and take people that are living on the streets, children as well as adults, excuse me, take them off the streets, and to first obviously give them the most immediate needs, shelter, clothing and food. But more importantly, to shower them with so much personal development education so they can start seeing and believing that they can be, do and have anything they want in their life.
But it's also more than just the personal development. And when we spoke about it, it was also about things like, you talk about meditation. Is that an important
So for me, my definition of personal development education is everything. For me, it's yoga, it's meditation, it's breaking limiting beliefs, it's the law of attraction. It's basically working on your mindset. I believe people say you are what you eat. I say you are what you think. What you think about, you bring about. So it's about shifting your mindset in here. Now, it's not an easy process. If I spoke to someone who's living in a slum all their life and said, look, do blah, 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 and you're going to be... It doesn't work that way. It's going to be... if that person's 15, 20 years old, they've had a certain amount of conditioning for 15 or 20 years to think a certain way. So I use the analogy, take a glass filled with water, and you've got to just add 1 or 2 drops of orange cordial into that water, and that's like negativity. Your belief system,
and it gets diluted,
and it basically becomes orange.
It does, yeah.
And to get that orange water back to water again, you've got to add a lot of water. So I believe personal development, whether it's meditation, yoga, working on your mindset, is adding positivity, adding water over a period of time, a sustainable amount of time. And you don't have to be 100% positive. It's like a tipping scale. You just be positive or instill enough positive stuff into your mind on a regular basis, just 51%, then it'll tip. And the other example is a garden. You have to do this regularly. I listen to personal development stuff daily, the books that I read. I'm feeding my stuff regularly, whether it's through my phone or listening to stuff or reading stuff. It's like a garden. If you're not taking the weeds out of that garden, and you do it for 6 months, those weeds are going to grow back in. And the beautiful thing is, for me personally, it becomes such a beautiful, positive practice that I just love it. I actually love being involved in personal development. Coming back to your original question, so my dream has been to shower these people with personal development and to have them start seeing that they can be, do and have anything they want. They don't have to be dictated by their environment, what their dad did or their granddad did. They don't have to be influenced by their circumstances. They can create the life they want because what they say and what they do rather than the environment. So that was the project. I was speaking to my coach, Harish, and we were talking about the project. He goes, Harinder, I love this project. And I said, you know what, my dream is to run a pilot right in the heart of a slum in India, where we actually do a day of workshops, an hour of meditation, an hour of yoga, bring in a motivational speaker for an hour, bring in a life coach for an hour, and we run that pilot, and then we work off that pilot, and we do regular weekly events where we actually allocate people living in the slum after a certain period of time with a personal life coach.
Okay.
So imagine someone living in the slum, whether it's an adult or a child, and a life coach working with that person, and the life coach would help them get from where they are to where they want to be. They might just want to get into a better slum. It doesn't matter. I don't know what their vision and their dream is. Then it's game over. If you have someone working with you regularly on a weekly basis, and you're open enough to contribution, it's not just giving them tips and advice, it's actually helping that person overcome their limiting beliefs. Now, I'll be honest with you, this project wouldn't be to where it is today, 3 or 4 months later, if I didn't have a coach. I've been stopped many a time in this project. And Harish is just a phone call away. In the first 2 or 3 weeks, I was waking up with panic attacks, thinking, how the hell am I going to make this project come
Did
reality?
you feel it was a bit overwhelming?
Overwhelmed, because I believe what happens is we have an identity which is our past. Call it ego, and its job is to make you just be the person that it knows it to be. And then there's your higher self, or something connected to the universe, which is your purpose. And whenever you want to do something that's not who you are, I believe there's a breaker switch that kicks in. Tony Robbins talks about it. He says that when you do something in life that's really big.
Maybe took you back to what the main reasons were why you were doing it, get you refocused again, give you a few techniques to help kind of, understand.
So it's basically techniques that help you break through limiting beliefs. So coming back to the project, sorry, I was digressing. Myself and Harish were talking, and we said I want to do this project in India. And he said, why don't we call it India Transformation Day? And I can't remember if it was him or me. We said, okay, why don't we call it World Transformation Day?
Okay, so the World Transformation Day is the thing that you've actually, put together and thought this would be really good to do with lots of people.
Yes.
Lots of parallel things happening at the same time.
Yes.
And some of them could be paid for, and some of them could be for free.
Yes.
And I think what's interesting, and steal your thunder, the point you were saying earlier on to me was some contribution could go to sustaining it as well. Because that's the most difficult thing, isn't it? That you do something and it just kind of like, you talk about the tipping thing, but you don't want to get the edge of the cliff and go, all right, so I'm not doing that again, because it's too scary when I look out there, to use the same analogy. What you want to do is, I quite like climbing Snowdon. Next time I'll do Ben Nevis. Next time I'll do Everest. You kind of your climbs that you build on. And if you think Ben Nevis is enough, you maybe not want to do any more than that. But at least what you've done is you've achieved a few things. Yeah.
No, definitely. So when coming back to, you talk about World Transformation Day. So what we've created is World Transformation Day, and on the 7th of April 2018, the project that I'm doing with Harish in India is my self-expression. It's my purpose, my passion, my vision. But at the same time, Savi, we've got people all around the world doing projects that are their self-expression exactly on that same day. And what we did 3 or 4 months ago is we've partnered up people who've got a vision and a dream. One of the things you spoke to me about when we first spoke on the phone is, it's great going to a course and being motivated, but how do you do it? What's the day-to-day things? And I realised that one of the things I said to you, Savi, I said, I don't know if it was you or someone else, I said, what's the richest place on the planet? And the richest place on the planet, if you're Christian, is a graveyard, or Muslim, because people's dreams die within them.
Right.
So what we've created is a project where I've got coaches who are doing this for free. Anyone that's behind the project in India, we're doing this we're not doing it for financial gain. We're doing it because we want to make a difference on the planet. So I've got coaches who are doing this for free, and we've linked up these coaches with individuals who've got a dream and an idea. So I'll give you a live example. There's a gentleman called Philip, and his dream is always to create his own book. His dream has been to create his own podcast company where he's coaching people on the internet live. And he didn't know where to start, and I said to him, why don't we have you launch your business on World Transformation Day? And the guy started sweating. He goes, I don't know how to do it. And I said, I know, but I'm going to link you with a coach. The coach is going to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. And he said, that'd be amazing. And it's only been 2 months. The guy's ready to launch his book. Kishan, who's coaching him for free, has helped him get his book launched. And on the 7th of April, the guy's transformed. On the 7th of April, he's going to launch his business of running podcasts. And one of the things we've said to people is, if you are going to do a business event on the day, we'd like you to tithe 10% of whatever you make back to World Transformation Day. And that's exactly what's happened. Philip called me 2 weeks ago. Harinder, look, he goes, I want to give back. He goes, because of what I'm doing, because of the result of you hooking me up with a coach, someone's giving me 5,000 Australian dollars because they believe in me. And he goes, I want to give some of that to you. I said, look, if you got the money, can you tithe 10%? He goes, yeah. He's already put the money in our account.
Wow. Okay.
And I also said, we'd like you, because this project started because of the coaching, can you tithe 10% of whatever you make for the rest of your life? He goes, definitely. So these are self-sustaining. That's only because we gave him a coach. Now, if you've already got a project that you already don't need a coach for, now the India project itself, so that's what's happening World Transformation Day. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the message I want to send out to the audience, one is, if you're someone who is already doing something, you might be a life coach, you might be a personal development trainer, you might be a yoga instructor, you might be doing meditation, you might be doing something, but you might be putting something off. On that day, take action. Use that day to inspire. It might be riding a bike, it might be saying to someone, I love you, it might be asking someone out. Do something that's for you is transformational. But in terms of a project, if you, because time is short now, we've only got like 6 or 7 weeks. If you're someone that's got a business or an activity that you want to run on World Transformation Day, we would welcome you to run an event on that day, and you'll be posted on our website,
so you're
social
going to
media.
have a website where you can put all the partners in one place,
Yes,
right?
we've got a website that's going live literally in the next 24, 48 hours, and it's called www.worldtransformationday.com.
Good.
Worldtransformationday.com. And your project will be posted on there. You'll get publicity, and as I said, if you are doing an event that's going to be a business event or a money-making event, we just invite you to donate 10% towards World Transformation Day to help other people achieve their dreams. So it's almost like paying it forward to help them realise that.
Absolutely.
So that's what's happening for World Transformation Day.
Really, really clear descriptions. I just want a few minutes before we finish.
Yep.
Why? So we've spoken a little bit about. I mean, we haven't really spoken a lot about how you're managing all this stuff. I mean, obviously you've got electronic aids and stuff to do that, but
and a very patient wife.
And a very patient wife and family. So all kudos to
Yes.
them. But my interest is, right, specifically for this program as well as for your initiative that you're running, is how are you going to sustain that momentum? And is it purely on passion alone? And I interviewed somebody recently. I was talking to you about him earlier, and he was talking about the fact that he has to do a lot of stuff off the cuff. So he does a lot of reading. He's really passionate about his subject. The more he learns about his subject, the more he has. That's already in his database, as he called it, in his head, right? So how are you going to sustain? And so we talk about procrastination, but how do you sustain the momentum, right? I guess not the thing at home.
Yes.
When I'm with the kids and we go for a walk and say, I'm really fast on you. I go, and then they always take the mickey out of me, and I say it's not about speed, it's about sustain. I mean, you can be super duper fast, but you won't run out of fuel, right? How are you going to sustain it? I know you've got that model where people are going, but how are you personally going to sustain your energy and your level? Because obviously you're doing a lot of things, and that's a really good thing. There's only a certain number of hours in the day, but what do you think about? What have you got in your mind that's keeping you on track, apart from the coach, obviously?
Okay, so the first thing is my reason why. Whenever I get stopped or a hurdle comes up, and I use this example and I say to people, imagine your vision is so big, it's like the size of that wall. So if you look over that wall there, yeah?
Right.
That's your vision, is so big. Now put your hand in front of your face. You just put your hand in the viewers are watching this.
Yeah.
Now that is a roadblock, but when your vision is so big, you can actually see through your hand. So the vision's got to be bigger than the obstacles that you encounter. So whenever I get stopped, the first thing I think of is the people living in the slum, the children and the adults that are on the streets, and then I sometimes get moved to tears. So that's my why. It's the reasons that are going to get you through the seasons.
But also, is that the same thing, just to pull back on the previous project that we were talking about, is that when you got off, I can imagine you've got your rucksack on, the dusty, kind of the coat is pulled up, and you've got your backpack, and you put it down, and you've looked out, and you've seen the kids, and you thought, and then that moment hit you, didn't it, about the fact that this is really bad. There are people out here that are suffering with eye problems or whatever, and there's nothing here to help them. And so, was there something? Is that the thing that you had in your mind when you were doing that project? You thought, I can't have a situation where people are getting their eyesight's getting worse. I mean, these days eye surgery is incredible. That people can have balloons and gas put in their eyes, and they can have their retinas stitched back in, or lenses, whatever. There are so many incredible things that people could do surgery-wise. But vision of part of the senses that you have. If you cut your thumb, and you're trying to, eat with your thumb, or you cut the side of your lip, and it tells you how bad it is, how you need every single part of your body. Is there something inside of you that is seeing compassion in one sense, but is there something inside you that's saying, I really need to help that person, right? What's from within that's driving you? What's
within me? We talked about this before the interview, and I have a knowing, and call it coming from God or the universe, I have a knowing that this is my purpose, that my purpose is to help people around the world, and I don't know why that calling is there, I don't know where it comes from, it's a knowing that I have.
Well, sometimes it can come from family upbringing, your parents, brought you up well, and the people that you interact with in everyday life, and you look out across and say, I've done well in this area, maybe I can help somebody else. it takes a very special kind of person to maybe not be constantly driven on cash.
Yeah. So firstly, it's that calling. It's that in a belief. So when I started this project in India, the moment I said yes and I started it, it was done here and it was done here.
So heart, mind.
Yeah, and then it was just waiting for time to catch up. The second thing that I think is really, really important for me personally is to have a coach, because the coach is there to help you when you get stopped. The coach is there for me to help me when I'm down. The coach is there to help me to overcome my own personal limiting beliefs. And the third thing is leverage. The reason I can do so much, so Visioncare for homeless people, my involvement now is I'm just on the board of directors as the head of fundraising.
You created a system, right?
Yeah, so the system's been created. So we have a board of directors, we've got staff. That's snowballing. The idea of the snowball starts at the top of a mountain, it goes down and gets bigger. I can't stop that project. That project's going to be here even when I die. Mm-hmm. So it's a matter of creating a system, and leverage is really called team.
So maybe in a way, you're leaving a positive legacy behind that inspires other people.
Yeah, and I'm not doing it for that reason, but I think the important thing is...
Not necessarily having your name on it.
Yeah, is team. So, analogy is together, everyone achieves miracles.
Right.
TEAM. Is to have a team. So, on the World Transformation Day project, it's not me that's heading all the new projects coming aboard. Harish is looking after that side. I'm just looking after making the India project happen. And then we've got coaches. Then we've got people helping with the website, Jatinder, who we know mutually.
And then you've got the links with the universities as well.
Yeah, so and then one of the things that we're going to be doing in India is working with the slums and encouraging the slum children to go to school.
Very good.
And to do that. So I think those are the three things. One is to create a why that is big enough. Secondly is to have a coach, and thirdly is to create a team. And I suppose there is a fourth thing is to feed myself regularly with positive stuff. So when I feel down or when I get stopped, I just listen. I go into YouTube, or I listen to something motivational, whether it's Tony Robbins or Wayne Dyer or Deepak Chopra, and sometimes I listen to the same stuff every day 3 or 4 times until I get it.
Right.
And that has me tipped from being negative to positive again. Now, I've become someone who's self-sustaining because I've done this for over 20 years. Initially, that analogy of pouring water in that glass of orange, initially it won't be as easy as that. Initially, you may not be self-sustaining. So I think it's important to surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up. So your peer group's important. So go on courses, read books, listen to audios, hang around with people that are going to lift you, find a mentor. I think these things are all ingredients to have you become successful in the endeavor that you want to achieve. It might be a business project, it might be a charity project, but I think no one's ever going to do it on their own. And the ones that feel they're going to do it on their own, they'll only go so far, then they'll burn out. The project has to be going on without you there.
So I think it's a really good bit of advice, that isn't you connect with the right people, and then those connections make more connections, and they actually believe in the same value that you got initially, and you kind of keep continuing with that passion.
And on a spiritual level, and some people might not relate to this, but I believe that what you think about, as I said, you bring about, and there's a law of attraction, right, that when you change your vibration in your head, in your mindset, people start coming to you. I genuinely do not believe that this is a coincidence. What happens after a while, when you start working on your mindset, things start happening effortlessly, which initially you might think, oh my God, where did that come from? But I experience it on a regular basis now, because I wake up every morning and I say to myself, I'm looking forward to the miracles that are going to happen to my life today. So just having that attitude of gratitude as well.
Absolutely, and that's a lovely point as well, that to kind of finish on. I'd like to say thanks very much to Harinder Paul.
Can I mention something that's very important that I forgot to mention? Sorry, I know you're about to close off. One of the things that's very important is the project that we're doing in India is going to require funding, and we're going to be running the pilot on the 7th of April, and then the life coaches are going to be going in weekly, the yoga teachers are going to be going in weekly, and we're going to have an event every month where we're going to have a motivational speaker come in and then that's going to be a sustainable model, and it's going to cost around £1,700 to £2,000 per month to pull that off. So we're looking for people who want to donate money, who may want to sponsor the event. They might want to sponsor the whole year of £23,000 or £24,000. They might want to sponsor just one of the 12 months. So anyone that's interested who'd like to get publicity. This is cause-related marketing or altruistic marketing. Please get in touch with us, www.worldtransformationday.com, and we can see how we can serve you to achieve that.
Absolutely fantastic. I just wanted to say thanks so much for your time, because you're a busy person, and with all the projects that you're doing. It has been really enlightening, right? And may you continue to reflect positivity and also ensure that all the great projects that you've got going already and the new ones that you're about to embark on will be as successful as you, and more importantly, drive success in other people. So thanks a lot for being on SaviLeaders. So wonderful to meet you.
Thank you
wish
for having me.
All the best in the future.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.